Hey guys, so I just wanted to make this quick stream. Well, I think it's gonna be quick. I just wanted to say thank you for helping me hit 5,000 subscribers. No, this isn't gonna be one of those things where I say the goal was 10K or anything like that. I've realized that for hitting the subscriber counts, I shouldn't focus on that kind of thing. I used to think about like, oh, okay, well, I want to hit the subscribers, but what does the subscribers really mean? It doesn't really mean much, right? It just means like, okay, this is how much people thought my content was pretty cool enough, so they wanted to maybe listen to what I had to say or learn something. But at the end of it, all the videos that I do, I don't like the focus being really on me, like or how I don't know how cool I am or whatever. Because it's like I see people on YouTube and sometimes they go on this whole self thing about, they're funny or they're cool, and I don't like that. The whole point about my content is I've always tried to make the world a better place. I have to think about my life purpose, and I've always thought like my time I never really thought about it in terms of really mortality too much. Lately I've been thinking more about mortality for reasons. But I've always thought that it's important to leave the world a better place than you found it. And I know that I have people, I've looked at the analytics for my channel. We have people of all sorts of ages, all different walks of life. But I think that when I see things like the live streams, that makes me think, hey, you know what? I want to continue making these live streams, even if it kind of kills my channel sometimes because my videos do get long. Because at the end of it, I see sometimes like it does help people out. And I know people will probably say, oh, how come you're not showing yourself on camera? I don't like the focus being really on me. I like the focus being on words instead. And yeah, so my goal, I told you guys for a while, was to hit 5K. I finally hit 5K. And at this point, right, I don't know if I'm going to make it to 10K, 15K, 20K, whatever. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I hit that goal of 5K. I was looking at the analytics, and in the last 30 days, listen to this, I've actually had about 47,000 people watch my YouTube channel. Now that doesn't mean they're watching all my videos because you guys see the stats, but it makes me happy that hey, you know what? Maybe someone listened to something, and even if they don't listen to my channel again, I hope that it made people maybe their day be brighter. Maybe they had a little bit sort of awareness about something. Maybe their life is better changed because of it. Maybe become more empathetic towards people with cancer. Like I said, I feel like a complete dumbass sometimes because I assumed that I had more time with my uncle, but I didn't. It's one of those big regrets that I'll have in life. I don't want to say big regret really. Like I don't want to emphasize on that because I know family listens to my stream, but I really thought I had more time with them. My grandma lived about 2 years after she had her diagnosis. She went under radiation. She did some sort of holistic thing. She had surgery. She had, I believe, chemotherapy as well. And we had a lot of time with her. But my uncle, we only had about 4 months. So I am going to go over to Hawaii, and yeah, so these moments that I document, my thoughts, my weaknesses, my embarrassment, sometimes I know there's probably something in my stream that I've said that I'm going to look back and say, well, Erica, you were misinformed or you were being an idiot back then. But that's how life is. I could have made this YouTube channel where I was reading off a script and saying, the 5 points about this or 5 points about that. But what really matters to me is just trying to help people, be aware of certain things. And I don't want anybody else making the same mistake in terms of assuming that people who have, let's say, what could be a terminal illness, you think like maybe they have a year or two, because time is so precious. We're all mortal. All of us are going to pass away eventually, and we really need to make our life count. We need to be around people who support us and uplift us. And my uncle was one of those people. The more I hear about his life, he was a very private person, okay? The more I hear about his life and the more I think about the actions, I think it was just a great loss to the world. Because it's like the person that he was, if I didn't talk about it, only immediate family or only, people that interacted with him would know about him. But for me personally, I would like to be more like him in the future. And he just, he was really on another level. He was so family focused, so loving, so kind and financially savvy, but so humble. And he treated everybody with respect, and it's very rare you find people like that. So I do know that, in terms of like people, they don't really die until people stop talking about them, people stop thinking about them. And I think one of the best ways that I can show respect or show, how wonderful my uncle was, is try to tell people, you guys should be kinder. You guys should focus on family or friends more, and just really value the relationships that you have with people, not the possessions. Because possessions, they come and go. You move, you have to get them away. You die, you have to, you're not going to be able to bring them with you to heaven. So yeah, it's that kind of thing. And my YouTube channel, again, I don't see this as like Erica is so cool or Erica has 5,000 subscribers. I think of it as really it's kind of overwhelming when I look at the stats. Like, I was thinking, like, frick, 47,000 people watched me in the last month, even if it was just for a minute. Like, that's unreal. But this brings me a lot of happiness, because I really do want to make the world a better place. And I want to tell you guys that I know some people who listen to my live chats or listen to my streams. Some people don't even watch my streams. They never interact. They just listen. If you guys are feeling alone, know that you're not alone. I made the recommendation before, like, if you are depressed, if you want, I definitely recommend seek help, seek therapy. I've gone to seek therapy, and it helped me immensely. I also believe that it's important to focus around people who support you and love you. And if you ever feel isolated, then know that that's not the case. You really need to reach out to people. The people that I have known that have done things that they didn't leave to see another day, they never sought to seek help. And I sometimes really wonder what would happen if they did seek help, because they would have realized that their problems were temporary, and they did a permanent solution for that. I know it's really heavy for me to talk about on a stream that's supposed to be congratulatory in a sense, like, yay, we did it. But I see this as like a platform where I don't want to like just talk about fluff or talk about, this is so cool and so awesome. Really, I want to make the world really a better place. So if you guys are struggling with depression, or if you guys are feeling sad or lonely, I would suggest, buy some sunflowers. Don't buy just one sunflower, buy several sunflowers. You'll see them in a group. You can buy real ones or fake ones. We have fake ones around the apartment. And if you ever feel lonely, just kind of like keep it in your head that, yeah, there's positive energy out there. You just need to come across it. And it's not a rare thing to find. You find like small bits of happiness, just like interacting with someone randomly, or finding someone, let's say they say something funny on Reddit or in a support group or things like that. I don't want anybody who listens to my, and this is, like I said, this is one of the reasons why I made my videos the way they are. I never want to send the message that if someone is going through an issue, then they're the only one in the world, because I know YouTube can be a very isolating place. I do know that people can watch videos and see things from certain content creators. And that's really what the term is, right? Content creators, YouTubers, and say like, wow, these people look like they have no struggle in their life. They look like they just skate through life, and they're so cool, and I want to be as cool as them. But secretly, everybody has their struggle. I've just been more public with my struggles, because I feel like, yeah, in terms of like loss, right? Everybody goes through loss. Everyone dies, and it's an important subject to talk about. Talking about, let's say, power of attorneys, wills, healthcare directives. I have to seriously think about that. Because of my uncle's passing, I've had discussions with Lewis and other people about it, and say, yeah, you really got to hammer out something, because you shouldn't assume that you have an infinite amount of time to live. And this sounds really morbid because my birthday's tomorrow. And I'm just thinking, like, yeah, my last day of 32, like, oh, what am I going to be talking about? Oh, I'm going to be talking about death again. But I'm very grateful and I'm very blessed that I do have, I am alive and I am mobile and I'm able to do things that other people can't do. I don't take that for granted at all. I think each day is a blessing, and even if I don't have good days all the time, I'm truly grateful that I'm able to spend more time on this planet or on this realm, because I think life is so beautiful. But sometimes we forget how beautiful it is. We get caught up in certain things, or we get caught up in the negativity, and we're not able to see the positively so much. And I've seen this in like several people. Sometimes if they have a bad day, they only focus on the bad and they don't focus on the good. But when you have, and again, if you know someone who has lost their quality of life because of an illness, or their life has been cut short because of it, it really changes you as a person, because you're able to say, like, shit, a lot of the stuff that I thought about, it really didn't matter. It was so small in in comparison. I have a lot of respect for my uncle. He put up a really strong and brave fight against cancer, but cancer unfortunately took his life. And but I know he's in a good place. He's with relatives. He's with his dad. He's with my mom. He's with his great grandparents, right? Good people on the other side. So I'm not afraid of death. But yeah, I want all of you guys to, like, when I talk about this stuff, I want all of you guys to lead better lives, or just think like, hey, you know what? I'm going through or if you're going through a bad day, right? Just take it one day at a time. Don't think like your life is over kind of thing, because you've overcome so much things in your life, even mental hurdles. I didn't think I was going to be able to hit 5,000. I was getting really pessimistic at one point. I was like, you know what, if it comes, it comes. That's it. It's just like, I was thinking, like, is this thing trolling me? Why am I always like stuck between 4,980, 4,995? Oh frick. Okay, here we go back. Oh my gosh, I was like, I'm never going to hit it. But I don't focus too much on the subscribers. I focus more about the people who come across my channel. And there's going to be a number of people who watch a video and they'll never, ever, ever comment. And that's completely okay. That's completely okay. I don't expect people to remember my channel at all, but I hope that you guys just remember, right? Remember that your self-worth is how you make it, and it's your character. Always be kind to people. Always just value each and every day. If you guys can run out, then really value that ability to be mobile. It's just like that kind of stuff. Like, I don't take things for granted anymore. I used to think like, okay, I got to throw something in the trash, like, oh, I got to get up. But it's different to think like, oh, I can't get, I don't want to get up, versus I can't get up, right? So I can do that kind of thing. And it's really it's really something not to take for granted, because some people, they lose their mobility and they can't do that kind of thing. And it's just like, it seems so stupid to say like, oh, I gotta get up and like throw something in the trash. I don't want to do it, right? It's like, oh my gosh, that kind of stuff. So it's really changed my thinking, for sure. And I think that, yeah, in terms of my channel, you'll just see more me sharing things like what I do, right? I see articles, I share with you guys. We have a discussion on live chat and things like that. So overall, that's all I can think of off the top of my head. I do want to say thank you so much, and I hope that my channel lasts for a while. I think that I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed to have a channel that allows me to learn from you guys as well. Because there's sometimes it's like I've had some issues and you guys told me things and I was like, you know what? That was really good advice. I never thought about that. So it's not just like I feel like I have like a little podium. Like, no, I learned so much from you guys as well. And I really, really appreciate it for you guys. So, yeah. Oh, let's see over here. If you sought help, then people will try to push their fixes on you instead of just listening. Then when you complain, no. You know what? I spoke to a therapist, and my therapist helped me a lot. So after my mom passed away, I had a really hard time coping. I didn't see a therapist until about 1 year, about after she passed away, and there was a lot of issues within me that was just really hard, to let go of. And I don't want to say like if you go through loss, you're going to be fine if you see a therapist, but you'll find that you have a new normal, and it's an easier way of coping. I still cry about my mom every so often, and it's been like 8 years. But what they do is they have you, they talk to you, and then they just like how would I say, try to reframe your thinking. So it's like there's ways to better cope with things. And for me personally, for like death issues, I try to see it as they're gone, but they're not alone. They're with people on the other side, and people who care about them. You know, people that you've lost in the past, and they've gone off to the other realm, and those people are not just waiting, for them, but they're also waiting for you. But it's like I definitely don't believe in, solutions where people take their lives, too early. And yeah, I think that people need to be strong, and they need to be resilient, and they need to seek help, and try and find people who love and support them. But then you also have to have this, ability to say, you know what, I'm going through an issue right now. This is not going to break me down. I am going to try and fight against this as much as I can. And for me, it's like that kind of thinking helped me a lot, because it's like you have this like bigger view. Like your life does not have to be how you see it now. You don't know how it's going to be in a couple years, and things like that. But yeah, the sports sack bag, yeah, that's a brand name of bags. That's my purse bag, but you can also carry things to the supermarket. But I tend to just use a reusable bag. I think like sometimes when people are depressed, it's like they feel like they have this depression within them. I'm not gonna say everyone, right? But they have this depression within them, and it's hard for to try and find like a way to like cope or to lessen that depression. And it's like, instead, like for instance, right? Instead of mourning of a person who passed away and being sad that they're gone, like yes, it sucks. I miss my uncle a lot, but I kind of think like, how did he live, and what would he want to see in the world if, if if he's looking down, right? It's like that kind of thing. And it's like, I would like it, in the future. Oh gosh, in the future, it's like one day when I do eventually pass away, right? Because everyone's gonna pass away. I've been made that very, very clear. Like one day I could say, you know what, you led, Uncle so and so, you led such a great life, and it was so inspiring that I told people about you, and some people actually decided that they wanted to be a better person, or they tried to be kinder to other people, or they try to be more financially savvy because of how you lived. And or they became more empathetic, or they may became more, they reached out to people that they knew that had cancer, because they didn't assume that that person would have a much longer time to live. But yeah, that kind of stuff. Like, you can always, like, a person's passing, you can always like look at it both ways. You can either like go into the grief and just think like, oh, it's so unfair that they passed away, or you can try to see the other side of it and say, how did this person live, and try to hold on to that and say, you know what, I would like to see more people have that kind of qualities. And maybe one way I can do it is just try to remember the qualities and try to be a better person myself, right? Kind of like the whole man in the mirror thing, Michael Jackson's songs start with the man in the mirror, or the woman in the mirror. And yeah, it's like keeping that in your heart about how that person was, and remembering how they lived. That helps so much with grief. Oh, my skin was so much better away with the cats. I'm not gonna lie. There's no cat fur. Aw. Yeah. I've known people who have been um in that ward, and it affects them a lot. And but immediately afterwards, they have to get help. You know, they have to go up with follow up care, and really, time is of the essence, kind of thing. Because it's like sometimes when people do that kind of thing, you see it as a cry for help, but then later on, right? You gotta say like, okay, well, how can I be there for that person? You know, how can you help them? Um, try to lessen their emotional suffering. And I see mental suffering like physical suffering, because I think the mind is very important to keep healthy, right? Or try to keep healthy and try to go to a therapy. Like if you're willing to go to the doctor because your leg broke, you should be willing to see a mental health therapist. There's nothing taboo about it. At all. And anybody who says that's taboo, I would say, like, I pray that you never have a person in your life who does something that's permanent, because once you lose a person like that, it's very hard. It's very hard to forget. Like I can't forget Jordan. And I've spoken about Jordan. He went through some mental health issues, and he felt so alone because he didn't have a support system. And I talk about Jordan, and I talk about people who pass away, because I think in the way that they lived and also in the way that they passed, people can pick up stuff from that, right? They can say, okay, well, if someone is depressed, I shouldn't just ignore them. I should reach out to them, because if too many people ignore another person, then it can cause them to feel very emotionally and mentally isolated, and that's not a good thing at all. And sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's really hard to remember, like, hey, if a person is depressed, like, if you don't reach out to them, like, don't assume that they're okay. So that kind of stuff. You know what, JD? I'm happy for you. So JD says, I got my antidepressants. I finally get enough strength to resume treatment. Yeah, you have to have that will to move forward, and just know, your support. You gotta have that strong support within yourself too. I hope you do have really supportive people around you, because those people are invaluable. And anybody who looks down on, let's say, people who get help for mental health, like, really shame on you, because I've known several people who didn't get mental health, and it really pains me, because it's like these people were suffering. And it's like I always question myself, like, how would have Jordan's life been if he didn't pass away? If he had stuck in there, and it was just like a really bright light just extinguished because of a series of bad things, and then that feeling of hopelessness. So yeah, I lost 10 years of my life because of depression. Okay, so that's why I say all this stuff about, why I'm so pro about getting help. And when I was stuck in my head, I wasn't able to enjoy life. And I don't want anybody to have, years that they're stuck in their head, and they have this, like, loop of, let's say, self-loathing and self-hate and low self-worth. And then they just, like, they wake up and they're all depressed and things like that. And they just, like, that's not a way to live. So I would highly recommend get some help. And if your therapist sucks, because there are doctors that are not good. Okay, if someone doesn't jive with you, get another one. Okay, it's like a hairstylist. Okay, I've gone through so many hairstylists, and, like, very few of them that I can say is really good. I'm not gonna say that about, like, I'm not gonna say mental health doctors are crap, but you have to find one that jives with you, that you feel comfortable with, and you can have, like, a plan with them. It's very, very important, because sometimes people have bad doctors, and they say, I went to a therapist and they didn't help, so screw them. It's like, no, you gotta, it's like a hairstylist. But yeah, I don't want to, it's just like, that's the best way I can describe it. So don't take it personally, or don't think like you're a loser if you don't get along with your therapist or something like that. Recognize that, hey, you know what, you want to improve your life. If one thing doesn't work out, then seek another one, right? If one hairstylist doesn't work out, then seek another hairstylist. It's not like you stop cutting your hair because you got a bad haircut, right? That kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's like that kind of stuff. You you definitely, that kind of loop is very, very dangerous because you can lose track of time. I've known people, it's like back in their 20s they were depressed, and then they enter their 30s and they're still depressed. Sometimes in their 40s they're still depressed. And our time on earth is so finite, you guys. We we, we don't have a life that spans on forever, okay? So I'm gonna be 33 tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow, and not tomorrow, and like I'm the halfway mark of hitting 66 years old, right? 33 times two. So I have to think in the next 33 years, I really want to live a life where I can say, hey, you know what? There's gonna be days that I'm still depressed. Maybe in the future I'm gonna have to seek a mental health therapist, and if I do, I'm gonna tell you guys about it because there's nothing taboo about it. If I'm willing to tell you I went to the doctor because I broke my arm, I'm gonna be willing to tell you about mental health for sure. But yeah, all that stuff. It's like you just gotta take it really one day at a time, and it's not embarrassing to think like you're in a loop. It takes a lot of strength to recognize it, and it takes strength to say, you know what, I want to get out of this loop. I really believe I can live a better quality of life. If I had not sought the help of a mental a therapist. I forgot if they were a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I didn't get any prescription drugs. If I didn't seek a help of a mental health professional, I probably would have been stuck in my head. I'm not kidding you. And that would have, thinking about that is pretty frightening. So if anybody of you guys are in depression, like, please do not think that it has to be like this. You can seek help, or you can try to like break the loop in your brain. It's hard. But if you have some negative thoughts in your head, you got to recognize, like, where's this thing coming from, and is this reality or not? Because, like, if you look in the mirror, and you say, like, you look like crap, and you're a piece of crap and things like that, or you're fat, and it like, reality is that you're not fat, you're like 105 pounds, and there's something wrong psychologically in there, kind of thing. So yeah, like, that kind of stuff. It's like, I recognize, like, sometimes what I think, it's realistic, but other times it isn't. So I have to kind of think of myself as, like, the third person sometimes, and think, like, okay, Erica, like, take it one step at a time. Don't get consumed by the negativity, and just take it step by step by step. This is what worked for me. This is why I'm sharing it with you guys, because I know there's a number of people in my channel who grapple with depression. Depression is a very, it's a thing that needs to be addressed, and you just, like, putting it, trying to shove it under a rug is not the way to go. I think depression is more prevalent than we think. And the only way around depression is to either break your way of thinking, seek a mental health therapist, get prescription drugs if you do have some sort of hormonal imbalance, or some sort of, like, imbalance in your brain. There's nothing wrong with it, okay? Like, some people, they have to take, like, estrogen pills or something like that, or some sort of hormone pills because they're lacking something, and that's totally fine. It's like, if I was deficient in some sort of, like, calcium, I would take a calcium pill. It's like, whatever. That kind of stuff. So, but that's all I have to say about that kind of thing. And yeah. So I think talking to a professional is good, because I find that they're more patient. And you can just, I feel like when I spoke to a therapist, it was just like an open sounding board kind of thing. And then they ask you questions. I can't remember exactly what they thought, but it was like, it's just like they try to reframe things, and they say, like, when you talk about problems, you gotta, or when you have an issue, you gotta see yourself as, like, putting it on a shelf, something like that, shelf, and then you gotta, like, look at it for what it is, something like that, and then it's like you're able to, like, distinguish, like, how you have to think about, like, how you're gonna tackle a problem, versus, like, oh, my life is a total mess. It's like, for instance, right, let's say you have a problem where you didn't do the dishes, right? instead of getting overwhelmed and saying, I'm such a loser, I didn't do the dishes today, I'm such a piece of crap, blah, 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 self-worthing, or just say, oh, I hate myself because of this. You take a step back and say, okay, I didn't do the dishes. Let me do one dish. Let me do two dishes. Okay, let me try to have a system so the dishes are always clear in the sink, right? So you treat yourself not only just like getting rid of that whole negative like emotional response towards yourself, and then you try to be more solutions based. That helps a lot in terms of thinking, because it's like sometimes it's like if I go down a negative spiral, right? It's like I've conditioned myself, or it's like through repetition. It's like, okay, Erica, just like don't beat yourself up about it. Try to figure out what is the solution to this, right? Like, okay, whatever it is, if you're feeling a certain way, look at it. Is it true or not? And if it is true, what can you do about it? So I hope that kind of stuff helps you. But of course, I'm not a mental health professional. I'm just sharing with you guys what works or what I do for certain things. And for any of you guys who have, let's say, trauma, I would highly, highly recommend go to a therapist. And just, again, if you didn't have a good therapist, get another one. Nothing wrong with getting another one. Yeah. I don't know the Serenity prayer. I don't know the Serenity prayer, but let's look it up. Was that the one that will grant me serenity thing? Let me just guess. Lord something something something. Lord, grant me the serenity or the peace to know something something. Yeah, here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. That is a really good thing. Yeah, see? Like, we can't change the past, but what we can do is we can change the future, right? We can always say, okay, this is a thing that happened to me in the past, but what did I learn from it, right? How will I have let this affect the quality of my life negatively moving forward, or will I say, like, you know what, I have a lot more wisdom now, versus before. My life, definitely is not perfect, but I look at my life, and yes, I do have a few regrets here and there, but I feel like it's made me a more stronger and more aware kind of person. And that's something to hold on to, because like life is not smooth sailing. I think it's very important to like see your life out, see your life and say like, hey, you know what? I stumbled, I made mistakes, I fell short on certain things, but I'm going to try and move forward. And that's how people should be. It's like if you get stuck on that like loop where you just find yourself like always like bashing yourself and or thinking lowly of yourself, and I've said this to a few people in my live chat as well, like, you gotta stop that. You gotta stop that, and you gotta say, like, you know what? I'm imperfect. That's okay. A lot of people are imperfect, but I'm gonna try to be better today. I'm gonna try to be better tomorrow. And then as you improve, instead of saying like, haha, like, oh, I'm a loser, you could say, you know what? I'm a work in progress. I'm imperfect. I struggle with things, but I'm gonna try to do better. And that kind of mentality has helped me a lot. Yeah, definitely better. Like, if I had that kind of mentality, I would have saved a lot of years of depression, kind of thing. Do I go to church? I don't go to church, Emily. The reason why I don't go to church is, first of all, like, I don't affiliate myself with a specific religion. I definitely believe God exists. I just don't know exactly which God. And this is my reasoning behind it. There are so many cultures, depending on where you are in the world, that it's like they pray to all sorts of gods. Um, and for me, I would say I fall more in line with like Christian belief, but it's like I believe that there is a creator. I do believe that. I just don't know if it's really just one or several, or like what do I know? Like if there's some mountainous tribes that has, maybe, I don't know, some other deity out there, but I'm respectful for it. But I think that what's important to realize is like, hey, overall, all across all these religions, they try to preach, be a good person, try to help and uplift other people. Be kind to other people. Don't try to be a piece of crap, okay? And when you pass away, then one day you'll be with the people that you love and you care about. And that's what I hold on to. It's like I don't think that, like, I refuse to believe it's like I'll never see my loved ones again. I absolutely refuse to believe that. Oh, by the way, so Lewis and I came home yesterday, and he was like, "What's up with the kitchen light?" He was like, "Why did it burn out?" And he was telling me, he said, those things are supposed to last a long time. And I was telling him, I said, I was praying, and I was crying, and I was praying, and I was thinking about, my uncle, and I was thinking about, like, my mom too, and thinking about, like, people whose lives were just, it's just like they were gone too soon. And I was just praying and praying. Like, I was watching this near-death experience thing. I spoke about it in an earlier stream. But I was praying and praying, and I was just thinking, like, I hope they're okay. I hope that uncle is okay. I hope that just, like, oh, whoever's spirits over there that was cut unshort, I hope they're not in, like, anguish or pain or anything like that. And I was just praying for the well-beings of the soul that went on to the afterlife. And there was something in, like, a near-death experience YouTube clip where I watched it, and the person who's having the near-death experience said something along the lines of, they did not want to leave the afterlife. What they were in, like, I forgot if they were in so much peace. They said that they saw their loved ones, and the loved ones said, like, no, it's not your time yet, you gotta go back. And they were so grateful for having a second chance in life, but they said while they were there, they didn't want to leave. And when they said they would have accepted death because they were so at peace, but they got sent back, kind of thing, because their family member who they saw on the other side, I think it was a grandpa, was pissed off at them. They're like, "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be here." And this is the grandpa of that individual, the woman. He had passed, I think, 7 years prior. So the person who tried to end it early said that they were so at peace that they didn't want to leave, and then they said death. And once they said the word death after they didn't want to leave, or the quote, "I didn't want to leave," death. That's when they said the word death. That's when the frickin' 2 lights in the kitchen burned out. And I was just like, whoa. So these kitchen lights, right, both of them burned out. They're supposed to last 32 years. I installed them, I think, like 2019. And they both burned out coincidentally when I was watching this thing about near-death experience, praying about, family and people who passed away too early, crying, and it just, like, woke me up. I was like, whoa, holy crap. Like, I've never had a light bulb burn out in this apartment, and for that to happen just triggered me. I was like, whoa. So it just, like, jolted me awake, and I took that as a sign that, you know what, I think they're okay. So I told some family members about it, and they're just like, that's weird. And I was like, you know what, it's different for me to say it, like, as if I'm changing the light bulbs all the time, but it's just really weird that I'm praying, and then when I'm praying and I'm crying while I'm praying, it's like the freaking light bulbs burn out. Both of them. So I gotta replace the battery, the light bulbs, and I was supposed to go to Home Depot, but I didn't go to Home Depot yet. Yeah. So that kind of stuff. So that kind of thing just made me think, like, you know what, I really don't think I'm alone, for sure. And I think something heard my prayers, and I think something answered, and it's just like, what's the best way to just, like, jolt me out of all this grief? It's like, freaking burn both of the light bulbs off in the kitchen. So when this happened, it's like my only freaking light source, like, just, like, shut off temporarily, and I was like, what the that kind of thing. So it just shocked me. It absolutely shocked me, and that has been a comfort for me. Again, Lewis thought this was really weird. He was like, what's up with the light bulbs, as soon as he walked into the apartment yesterday. But and it just happened in the kitchen too. Actually, wait, I take that back. It wasn't the only light source, because I had the light on in the living room area, and I also had the kitchen light on, and then the light bulbs in the kitchen burned out for whatever reason. I think, you know what? I think that you find out what you want to do in life by trying new things. And it's like you ask yourself, like, what do you like to do? You know, do you like to like spend time with people? Do you like to build things? Do you like to do Gundam figurines? Do you like to, I don't know, collect plushies, that kind of stuff? It's like, but all the stuff that we have, our possessions, we're eventually, we can't bring that into the afterlife. I can't bring my plushie collection with me into the afterlife, kind of thing. So yeah. Anyway, um, what do you mean? Yeah. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say about my stream. I know this stream has been longer than I anticipated, 41 minutes, but overall, I'm happy and that I hit my goal of 5,000, and I feel truly grateful for it. And I hope that with all my streams, even if eventually you stop following my channel or you unsubscribe, I do hope that you gain something from my channel. And if your life is positively impacted or uplifted, if you learn something, not just from what I say but also my live stream, I'm really happy about that. Because like I find that like there's things in life that I have or that I've heard, and it's like I don't remember who said it or where I read it from, but it's like I'm appreciative of coming across that stuff. And yeah, that's my hope for my YouTube channel. I'm not looking to be like a big YouTuber or anything like that. I just want to make the world a better place, one hopefully, one video at a time, or just, bring awareness about certain things to people. And in the future, my videos, you will see the good, the bad, the ugly, but you will see reality. Yeah, I really thank you guys for being there, following along my channel. And it makes me happy when I hear about people, being able to gather the strength to face their demons head on, or they get help, or they go on antidepressants and they try to seek a better future. Because living with depression or being stuck in your head for 10 years, I can tell you from personal experience, it's absolutely miserable. And again, our life is so finite that I think we owe it to ourselves to say, you know what, if we're going to be living, we better live a better quality of life. Or we better find a solution so we can live a better quality of life that isn't, anything harmful to us, right? Like imagine, like right now, if you're in pain or if you're struggling mentally, imagine if you can live a quality of life that you can look back at your life and say, you know what, I went through some real tough crap. I went through some real shit. And even if, maybe you're not completely recovered for it, but you feel like you're a stronger person. And you can use that experience from your personal struggle to help another person who's also struggling. And then you could say, you know what, I know it's really tough to overcome certain things, and you might have to seek, a mental health therapist. But I was able to do it, and it's not easy, but I can recognize that my quality of life is much better for it. And I hope that you go and you seek help, or you try to break the cycle of your own thoughts so you also live a quality of life. I think that sometimes when people have mental illness or mental trauma or mental issues, should not be a be all and end all. I don't think people are flawed for it. I think recognizing mental issues in people, and also within ourselves, right, it makes us more empathetic. We're able to say, hey, you're dealing with depression, I dealt with depression too, I know how it feels, it sucks, and you just got to watch out for getting stuck really deep in. And if you are really deep in, there's, you got to find a solution to get out of it. And don't be afraid to seek help. Go and find support. It's not going to be easy. You definitely got to take it one step at a time, and you'll probably falter like I faltered. I don't want anybody to think like it's like I went to a therapist and like 2 days later I was fine. No, I had to see a therapist for over a couple months. I can't remember how long it was, but it was a pretty long time. I want to say at least 6 months, but like during that time of my life, it was kind of like a blur, right? So I'm not really good with dates, but I know that it was long enough that I felt like I was stronger to overcome issues in a more healthy manner, rather than just going in this freaking cycle where I'm always just like beating myself up, or I just like I'm in so much grief kind of thing, and it just like yeah. Yeah. I'm planning to actually just read one chapter a day. You know what, Emily? I think I actually might think I might actually take up that suggestion. Read the Bible. Or just like glance through it. Because I actually, like I said, I went to a Catholic school. So it's like I don't, and I went to Bible school and things like that. So I'm not against religion at all. I think that you can learn things from religions. I think that, it's like it's important for us to try to be better people, because it's like our lives are just temporary, and I want to look back at my life, and I don't care too much about my freaking subscribers. Okay, I know when I'm on my deathbed, you guys. I know. Well, hopefully, I have a deathbed. I know when I'm on my deathbed, I'm gonna think back at my life and think, how did my life go? And I'm gonna think back, and I'm gonna say, you know what? I had a YouTube channel, and it helped at least a few people, and I hope that I help people through, encouraging people to get the support, encouraging people to seek out support or seek out mental health things, because yeah, I didn't want people to suffer, like I saw other people suffer, or lose 10 years of their life like I did. And yeah, going through mental health issues, again, it is not embarrassing. I know I'm repeating myself, but if you're willing to go to a doctor because you broke your leg, you should be willing to go to a doctor because your spirit is broken or your mind is broken. And you need to have hope, and you need to, say like, hey, these are my issues. This is what I'm noticing that's going on in my negative thought process. Like if something goes wrong, I over emotionalize it and I start blaming myself, or I keep thinking I'm a loser, but I don't change my ways, and then I just go back to my default. Like you cannot go back to your default, you guys. Like you got to get out of that loop. And that loop, I find, the thing that you have to snip out is any negative self-worth thing. Any things where it's like, I'm this or I'm that. Because what you got to think is like, think at the issue on hand, right? Like, okay, you're disappointed at yourself because you didn't do laundry and laundry piled up. You can be depressed about that all day, but what are you going to do about it? Okay, you're going to feel better if you do a load of laundry. So whenever I do these streams, like I'm not expecting you guys to watch my streams, like just watch a picture of sunflowers all the way. I actually encourage you guys to go about your day, go and do something that you've been putting off, like exercising or doing the dishes, or cleaning up a bit, or in my case, I'm doing the laundry right now. I think I'm on my 5th load of laundry. It's crazy. And yeah, I want you guys to like just like be mindful about how short time is, and recognize that, again, if you're not in the place that you want to be, that doesn't mean that you're a lost cause. You can't. You got to recognize where you are in life and then build from there, and say, you know what, I think I can be better. I can be better today. I can try to be better tomorrow. And if I falter, I'll pick myself up and get back up. And it's not going to be easy, but that's the thing that has to be done to get out of depression. And yeah, I recognize that I fall short on certain things, but I try to be better. I try to change my ways, and I'm happier. I'm happier because of it, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm doing laundry right now. I'm doing laundry. I try to tell myself whenever I do a stream, I better do a laundry stream. So, overall, you guys, yeah. Yahoo! Outseeker just picked up the dumbbell. You know what, Outseeker? If you were doing dumbbells whenever I'm streaming, you would be super buff, okay? Because I'm going to be like, you know what, I'm going to do a 2-hour stream just because of Outseeker. Outseeker, you better not put down that freaking dumbbell. I'm just kidding. You guys can watch one of my other streams. one of my other streams, and hopefully I'm not crying on that stream. But if I am, I'll keep it up. I know some people will say, Erica, you show too much in your streams, but I think of it like, hey, you know what? If I'm sad about something, or if I'm going some sort of issue and that happened in the past, that doesn't define who I am today. Right? Like, I am who I am today because of things that happened in the past, and things that's happened, or things that have happened. And you know what? It's okay. A person has all these little, they have successes and they have failures and they have shortcomings, and you just gotta move on. So, yeah. But I'm kind of surprised. I'm like, frick, I'm gonna turn 33 tomorrow. Dang. Yeah, so I gotta try to make sure 33, I'm more productive than 32 for sure. I definitely feel like I'm a better headspace entering 33 than 32. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy about it. I don't believe, I think that mental age, keeping a youthful mental age is important. So that's why I don't want to get rid of all my plushies. I just want to get rid of some of my plushies, because I'm thinking, like, I gotta make this place look a little bit more aesthetic. So yeah. And if you guys do see, if I gotta, like, figure out how I'm gonna sell these plushies, but I'm probably just gonna put in a poly mailer. And if you guys do want to buy my plushies, like, I'll keep it affordable. And if you guys want to, you could, like, get the plushie and then just see it as like a little thing where, I know this is gonna sound stupid, but, like, you're not alone. Like, for me, when I was really depressed, this is like a real thing. When I was depressed, I like having a plushie near me, because it's like I felt like it was like a soothing thing. So yeah, and then afterwards I was like, this is really comforting. I knew this one person where she bought a plushie from me, and she said it's because she had really bad anxiety issues. And I was like, whoa, because it's like, yeah, she was having anxiety issues and she wanted to buy a plushie from me, and it helped her a lot. It was really soft and it was really cuddly. And yeah, if you have your anxiety support, or if you find like you're soothed by a little plushie, then there's nothing embarrassing about it, right? If that's a little tool that helps you move forward, then so be it. So that kind of stuff. Yeah, so it's not like I'm gonna be shilling merch and be like, buy these plushies because they're cute. I hope that, yeah, if you guys do decide to buy a plushie, and I'm not gonna be pushing it or anything like that, but if you find that it helps you emotionally, or if it makes you feel less anxious, then I'm really glad about it. But yeah, if you like, I don't want anybody to feel like they're alone at all in the world, because you're not. If you feel like that way, that's your mind playing tricks on you. Because, yeah, it's like, even just participating in my live chat, or even just listening to it, you're one out of what looks to be 20 people right now. But there's more people who watch my stream too. I'm very, very thankful for it, for sure. Yeah, yeah. So, no, 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 no. There is no GoFundMe for an Oreo plushie. Definitely not. So, yeah, you guys take care. I suggest, like, if you can, go out today, look outside, take a breath of fresh air, and just enjoy your life. If you're dealing with depression, my prayers are with you. Again, I've been through depression. I still have bouts of depression here and there, but I always know that, you know what, there's a better day ahead, and that's what I hold on to. And when I do have better days, I always feel so thankful that I'm alive, because, like, you would not, if anything happened to me and my life was cut short, like, I wouldn't be able to experience certain things in this form, right? Like, I believe in the afterlife, so I think if I wanted to and I passed away, I could visit, like, another country, but it's not like I could experience it in this body. So I don't, like I said, I don't take anything in my life for granted. And yeah, I'm really thankful to be alive. And I know it's not the nicest thing to say to people, but if you put yourselves in another person's shoes, it's really, how would I say this? It's really, like, earth shattering to realize, like, man, there's so much things that you took for granted, kind of thing. So I'm gonna do some laundry. I gotta like I gotta like put the laundry away and things like that, and I have a phone call to do. But yeah, all you guys who have supported me, so I'm at 5,000 subscribers. I'm really thankful for it. And yeah, I'm really appreciative of it. I hope for all of you guys, I hope your lives are improved by listening to my streams. If you have any suggestions, I know someone's going to say, make it short, Erica. Let me know in the comment sections. And I truly wish the best for all of you. And if you, like I said, if you guys like stop listening to my streams for whatever reason, I'm not going to be all pissed off and be like, oh man, I'm mad. And I still continue to wish you guys the best. So don't feel like, oh, Erica gets mad when she loses subscribers. I don't, because I feel like everybody's on a path in life, and for whatever reason, if they're getting tired because I'm saying certain things, then that's okay. Yeah, I wish you guys all the best in life. I wish you guys a long, happy, and healthy life, and thank you for helping me hit this little goal of 5,000 subscribers. You helped me hit a goal that I look forward in my life. And again, if I don't make it to 10,000 subscribers, that's perfectly fine with me. It's just I had this little goal. I was like, I gotta hit 5,000. And that's all right. Okay, you guys take care. See ya.